Hello again, and welcome to this interview in the series that is all about empowering and inspiring a league of extraordinary mothers on how to rekindle that fire in your belly so you can step into life with more clarity, purpose, and excitement. Today, I am so excited to introduce you to Rachael Birmingham. Rachael is one of Australia's most prolific authors. She has 10 best-selling books that have brought in, I think, in excess of $7 million. She is also a speaker and a mentor and a mum of 3 boys. Rachael, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much. 7 million copies.
7 million copies.
I know. That must be in a brief out there somewhere. I don't know where that's floating around, but that's about the 20th time I've heard that. I thought, I wonder why people keep saying it's got to be somewhere on the internet, but there you are. On the horse's mouth.
Well, do you know, that is truly inspiring in itself. So, Rachael, for the mums that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, could you take some time to introduce us to who you are and how you came to be doing the work that you do?
Yes, definitely. And I was going to say to you earlier, ask me 1,000 questions. I work best that way because, as I just said to Edwina, I don't talk about myself very well at all. It's one of those things, isn't it? You ask me about writing a book, ask me about how to start a business, ask me about, how to do business on the road with kids and everything else, and I'll be able to easily, belt it out then. But gosh, talking about stuff is always one of those tricky things, isn't it? Hey.
Yeah.
So, oh gosh, where do you want me to start? So out of school, went to hairdressing. From hairdressing, I then decided I wanted to go play. So I went down to Sunny Coast. Here we are on the beautiful Sunny Coast. Not that you can see it inside here, but it's a gorgeous day today. Beautiful. And decided to go play at the Gold Coast. So I worked down there for a little while. And then I came back to the Sunshine Coast, worked at Underwater World as a shark diver. That's out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, where on earth did she go with that? I don't know either, but it was a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you that. It was so much fun. And then from there, I thought, well, I remember getting into the water diving at 5 o'clock one morning, 6 o'clock one morning, whatever, winter, freezing, thinking, oh gosh, I don't know if I can do this until I'm 60. What will I do here? So I didn't know what I wanted to do. And there's probably a lot of mums sitting out there thinking the same thing, because we go through phases in our life, don't we? When we think, well, what am I here for? What am I meant to be doing? What is this whole, big thing? And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I remember hearing Janet Atwood or someone, some audio I was listening to at the time. This is way back in the days. My gosh, this is such a long time ago, because I'm getting old now, knocking on 50's door. Come on. But yeah, they said, if you don't know what you want to do, the best thing to do is to start listing out, write some lists as to things that you're interested in, things that, you might not have any experience in, but would like to try and all that sort of stuff. And I thought, fair enough, I'll just do that. I don't know what else to do. So I started writing down this list of all these things that I liked or had an interest in. And stupid things, would you believe? I had stationery on my list, because if there's one thing I love, I don't know if you like pens, right? I know with that. So many of us women like it. I don't know, but anyway, that was writing.
Yeah.
Not that I knew I was a writer, but that's where you can see, looking back on your past, you can actually see the little pivotal moments in time, can't you? Yeah. So as stupid as stationery and writing was on my list all those many years ago, when I was 26, 25, gosh, I don't know, somewhere around there. It means something now. It actually fits into place. I don't know where shark feeding fits into place. I'm still trying to work that out, and that was several years ago too. Sure, it'll come to light somehow. So I wrote my list, and then from there I thought, I know there's a vocation, looks like a travel agent. I'll become a travel agent. So I went off and did that. Now, having said that, I had travelled nowhere at this point in time. I'm not even kidding. I had been out of the state of Queensland maybe twice. You know, when I was a very young girl, Dad had a job at the Grafton Golf Club as manager to fill in for one of his mates or something. I can't even remember what the story was. But anyway, we were uprooted and went down to Grafton, and we were there for, I don't know, 8 months or something. And it was, I don't remember anything of it. I'm sorry, Grafton people. I have actually spoken at a gig down at Grafton since then. I was like, wow, this is such a pretty place. It's so cool to be here because, you know, of that story. I remember ringing Dad and telling Dad all about it. And then one other time, I kind of went on a bit of a road trip down to Scott's Head and everything else, you know, along the coastline. So that was pretty well the extent of me going out of the state. But here I wanted to become a travel agent. So, you know, if you're thinking out there, oh gosh, you know, I'd like to do this, but I don't have any experience, take it from me. I went to this job interview, you know, sent out all these resumes, and there was like 22 travel agencies on the Sunshine Coast, and I sent out my resumes to each one of them. And I got knocked on the head for each and every one of them but one, you know, Flight Centre.
Yeah.
Yay for flighties. Go Flight Centre. Well, they said, yes, come down for an interview. I was gobsmacked. And actually, it was funny because at that time, I was invited to a wedding in Indonesia, Java, actually. I couldn't believe it. It was a friend, and they were getting married. And so, yep, off I went to this big wedding. And when I got back, I had the letter from Flight Centre saying, yes, we'd love to. And I thought, well, actually, I can really say I've been out of the country, even out of the state. Woo! So, yeah, it was so funny. So I got the job out of 150 people. I have no idea how I got the job, but I became a travel agent. Mm. And then there it just kind of just evolved. And I suppose up until that point, I was really playing and really exploring who I was and just, you know, living life as you do. And young, single, carefree, all that sort of stuff. And then, you know, met my husband, and, you know, that all unfolded and everything else. And then I thought to myself, well, I want to work for myself. You know, not that I knew it, but I've always been this entrepreneurial business kind of person. Yeah. Someone that loves to have a goal, go after, strategize the steps, go after it, and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd open a travel agency all of my own. So I did, and I opened it 3 months prior to September 11. And that was such a big turning point for me because, like I said, I was kind of playing and just winging my way in a lot of ways. And then that happened, and, you know, shit got real, basically. I was just like, whoa, okay, you've got to get your act together and start getting real about this, and if you want to survive in this world, kind of thing, because there was travel agents folding all over the place. Yeah. Imagine. So I remember the TV was on, and I walked past, and I heard Jerry Harvey from Harvey Norman, you know, the big Harvey Norman. Yeah. Him saying that 80% of business was in marketing, and I thought, well, isn't that just advertising? I really had no idea. I didn't understand the difference between advertising and marketing. I was paying, you know, upwards of $3,000 every single week to advertise my business. And I didn't, as a business owner, I didn't even know that there was a difference of marketing. And so I thought, well, I better learn about this. So, you know, started reading up on it and things like that. And just, you know, I thought, wow, it was intriguing for me. It was interesting. I love the strategy. I love the testing and trying different things and taking risks and all that sort of stuff. It was intriguing. So I started doing a lot more of that, and the business started growing, and everybody was like, well, how's your business growing when ours are all folding? You know, it was just because of the marketing. And most of the marketing I did was without money, because I didn't have money. You know, we were on the bones of my bum, basically. Yeah. And so I just started implementing and working, trying different things. And then, you know, it just evolved from there. So I ended up moving out of travel and going right into marketing for other people and building their businesses from nothing to multi-million-dollar businesses, you know. And then I was, you know, talking about it at several events. You know, I was asked to come and speak about marketing on no budget, predominantly, building businesses, that kind of thing. And then I was speaking with a group of girls that, you know, I'd known for a fair while and everything else. And I wanted to build a business from home that I could work in and around my family, because I wanted to be a hands-on mother. I don't know what I was thinking.
Sounds good.
Holy shit, it's crazy some days. It's like, what are you thinking, you stupid woman? Go to work. Just go get, you know, that 9-to-5 job. Oh my God, these kids, wow. No, they're awesome. They're beautiful. But, you know, like every mother on the whole planet, you sometimes think to yourself, I'm absolutely losing my mind.
Yeah.
3 little boys keeps me very busy, that's for sure. And when the twins came along, it was like, oh my God, you did not know anything at all. And now, oh geez, they've certainly taught me a lot.
Yeah.
So I just started. There was one company that you know, asked me to do a lot of marketing for them, and I did. And I was working from home because I wanted to have children. No, I know I keep saying that, but you know, I've got a teenager at the moment. The twins, oh my gosh, they're just starting to get out of the ratty age. So it's been a bit mad in our house, but it's always adventurous, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
You know. So anyway, so I wanted to build a business from home, and that's how I did it, through helping other people market their businesses, grow their businesses, that kind of thing. And then this group of girls that, you know, I'd been on the speaking circuit with a bit, you know, we decided to, you know, I was pregnant and we were busy. You know, I was talking with these girls and everything else. And then I had Jax, who's now 14. And he came along, and I thought, well, this is what I want to do. You know, I keep doing this, you know, because I can do it. It was easy. I'd do it in, you know, always sleeping, and, you know, it was just so easy. It was just ridiculously easy. And, I mean, I had to work for it. It was like, when I say it wasn't like an overnight thing. It was 8-month, 10-month journey to get it to that point where I had enough income coming in to support myself and grow and build and all that sort of stuff. And one of the girls came into the hospital to see Jax as a newborn, and she said, oh, this is going to slow you up because I'm a bit known for my abundance of energy.
Yeah.
And I said, actually, I've been thinking. She said, oh my God, no, what? Because I've always got a great idea. Some of them not so good. And she said, oh my God, no, what? I said, well, we're going to write a book. All of us girls, we're going to write a book, you know. Cindy had been talking about it. We should write a book, you know. Yeah, you know. So this was a way, writing a book was really a way of us getting our messages out there to a bigger audience without us busy mums being there in person. That's how it really started, the book writing journey. And so Read My Lips was my very first book, with Cindy O'Meara, Kim Morrison, Fleur Welligan, Ali Mooney, and Joe Nolan. And, you know,
I think just about all of those women have been part of this show at some stage.
Yeah, well, there you go. They're amazing. Every single one of those girls is adorable and knows their shit backwards, basically, and they're incredible beings, and still keep in contact with them. Like I just, you know, texting Kimmy Morrison yesterday, and, you know, often, you know, caught up with Cindy O'Meara. I was coming out of the ocean from a surf the other day, and, you know, walking along, and it's Cindy, having her walk along the beach. Hey, you know, cuddles. A few times that's happened in the last couple of months, you know, caught up with Cindy on the beach, you know, dripping wet and everything else. We caught up in the water. She was swimming the bay and I was out having a surf, and she was like, Rach, and I'm looking around going, who on earth? What is, here she is with the goggles, and, you know, oh my gosh, so we're sitting there on my board having a yak, you know. Yeah, funny days. But so that was Read My Lips. And then about a year after that, you know, I was talking to another friend of mine that I've known for a long, long time, Kim McCosker, and she was talking about a cookbook that she had an idea for, that she'd like to, you know, that she'd always thought would be a cool idea, you know, a cookbook with only a few ingredients. And I said, oh gosh, you should so do that. I would buy that, because, you know, even though I love my food, love food, I'm not really one of those people that loves cooking it. I've got to be in the mood.
Yeah.
I throw everything in on feeling. Yeah, I still do. You know, usually it's got 1,000 ingredients, and I just keep going until I figure out what I feel like. You know, but yeah. So Kim had the idea for 4 ingredients, the cookbook. And not that it was called 4 ingredients, that kind of evolved in the course of us talking and, you know, yakking away and everything else. But anyway, she asked me, you know, to come in with that because, you know, while she had the idea, she said she didn't know how to write a book, how to market a book. So basically she said, you've got the education, you've got the understanding, and you've got the experience and know-how in that, and I've got the money and the idea. She said we should do it together. So I said no a fair few times to it, to be honest. I just didn't think that, you know, cooking was my scene. But eventually I did, because, you know, it's a good idea. 4 ingredients. Are you serious?
Awesome.
What a great idea, you know. So we did it together, and that was about a 6-year journey, I think, together, that evolved into several books. You know, we wrote 5 that are published, self-published, and we wrote 2 that were unpublished. One was with Louise Hay, actually. So yeah, you know, R.I.P. beautiful Louise, now gone and left us, or in body. So yeah, that was, you know, an exciting time. It certainly had us all over the world and busy and everything else, and it was fun, you know. And you know, we were just 2 kids that went to kindy together, you know, that did this in the kitchen. And it was fun, you know, it was fun. So that journey completed in, like, the twins came along, and so in 2010 that completed. I sold my 50% share of the business to Kim, and then she kept going on with 4 ingredients and cooking a little heart out and pumping out more books and everything else, and I went my own way. And I suppose you know, for me, it's always been about life exploration. That's really about who I am, about I'm very, very interested in people's stories and their potential, their capacity. I always see things in other people that they can't see. I've always done that, and I've always helped them develop that or go to that place, you know, with encouragement, enthusiasm, strategy, benchmarking, that kind of thing. And I do crack the whip a bit, you know, as a mentor. I mean, I've been mentoring now in some capacity, whether it be helping people write books or helping people build businesses or helping just get clarity, lots of personal stuff as well. Excuse me, got a little tickle. Maybe, I don't know, 14 years?
Yeah. So for a lot of Australians, the idea of using a coach is only something that we do, you know, when we're trying to be an athlete or sport.
Yeah, I've got this. Hey,
yeah,
I've got the whole thing where, I mean, because, you know, I mentor from Monday to Thursday.
Yeah.
Usually. And I've never, you know, I've got a solid clientele, you know, all over the world. Basically, I don't just mentor people in Australia, but all over the world. I've never understood why people see having a mentor as like a luxury item or something like that, or they can't figure out the difference between coaching and mentoring is completely different. You know, I coach basketball teams. I coach, you know, I've coached everything. Gosh, you know, you name it, I've coached it. But that's a different, you know, a different space than mentoring is. Mentoring is very, very strategic for a start. It's not really micromanaged as much as the coaching is. Like, you know, sometimes it is a lot like that. Oh gosh, can you see me?
Yeah, you're back again.
And of course my battery phone's going to pass out. So, you know, there is a big difference, you know, with mentoring. It is very strategized. It's bigger picture. lots of brainstorming, lots of diving deep into the psyche of who you are. You're pulling out your potential, your capacity, and benchmarking it along the way. Whereas coaching is, coaching really is like on the sporting field, or, if you're going to be, really into the devil is in the details, that kind of capacity. Whereas a lot of my mentorees, they're either starting out in business, some have no money, some have like millions and millions of dollars, so it's a very broad space. Mentoring. But my thing is, I think everybody should have a mentor. I've got mentors. I think everybody should have a mentor. If you're going to spend a few $100s every year with an accountant as a business person, you're insane not to have a mentor. Because and people, they're saying, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have the money. You can't afford not to. You can't afford not to have a mentor if you're serious about being in business or growing or developing something. It's like an author. I've had in the past people say to me, oh, I just want to write a book and then you can market it, or someone can market, or whatever. No, you've got to be invested. You've got to be invested in yourself, and that author needs to be invested in their work. Because even though I've just, the last 2 books, How to Write Your Book, How to Market Your Book, even though I could put them out and pump them out there, the whole thing is the business doesn't start with the book is just the beginning. Then you've got to build the big business around that if you really want to be a super successful author or business person. You've got to build and it's not just one finger coming into the pie. It's many different avenues of income streams that you need to look at, because otherwise there's no quality of life. There's just no quality of life. Even though I work from home, I mostly work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. Thursdays I have half a day. I go surfing with the girls, and Fridays I take off completely. You never hear from me on a Friday, Saturday or Sunday. I think you've actually realised that. On occasion. Sorry. I'm living life. For me, it's really about living life and doing it in my own way. And sometimes I find myself at a quandary, like we were talking about back in that place where I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, that kind of thing. And just, the thing is, when you've got your strategies, you fall back on them, and their basic strategy, just go straight back to that and go, okay, well, where do I want to go from here?
So, I think for a lot of mums, we can get into that that place of being really immersed in motherhood, and then you come out the other side, whether it's when your kids are kind of moving from primary school into secondary, or whenever that time comes up, it's like, well, what I was doing wasn't fabulous. I don't know if I want to go back to that, but I've got no idea what I want to do from here. So for the mums that have got that kind of headspace going on, how do you mentor mums into finding what their purpose might be, or getting more clarity around what they could go on and do from here?
Yeah, that's a really good question. The thing that we need to realise as humans, not even just women or mums or whoever, is that we're forever evolving, we're forever growing, we're forever developing. What you wanted and what you needed that was important to you 10 years ago is like a what?
Yeah.
I don't care, now, right? And so, and people often find themselves all of a sudden in that place, and they don't know what to do with it. They think, well, this is what I've been doing, and then they realise that they've outgrown that, or it's not. That they've looked at their priorities or their world and thought, it's just not really interesting for me anymore. So, and then they find themselves in this space of uncertainty, and uncertainty always, is that, breeds fear, it sort of builds fear, and then they start freaking out and getting unsettled, getting depressed, getting sad, all those negatives start coming out because they're unsure and unclear, which is exactly why you should reach out to someone and say, well, what do I do? Now, in my experience, every single woman that I've mentored over the past, 14 years,
Yeah.
that very quickly, and I'm not even kidding, within 15 minutes of being on the phone, we figure it out.
Yeah.
So inside, they know.
Yeah.
But mostly they're just too frightened to take that step by themselves.
Yeah.
Or they're not sure how to take it. It might be really overwhelming, for example, and they don't know where to start. Most women, and I'm probably going to go out on a limb here, but I can't really think of one lady, but all the women I have ever mentored are intelligent. They've got this inner intuition. They have this inner drive about something, and you can just feel it. You can feel it talking to them when you're on the phone, and you can feel it coming through, and you can hear when they're getting excited, when they're not, when their energy's being exhausted, kind of thing. So you can see what lights them up.
Yeah.
And that's the place where you need to go. But often women don't go to the place that lights them up, because they'll make 1,000 excuses, because it means change. And you're going to change any day. Every day we change.
Yeah.
And yes, we get bloody scared. Yes, I get scared. Yes, I get freaked out. I'm freaked out now. I've got a massive change that I'm going through at the moment. And a lot of it is uncertainty.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, but you've got to, this is your best life.
Yeah.
This is your best life that you're living right now. So why wouldn't you have a go?
Yeah. I think when we were growing up and leaving school, a great career only came from going to uni or having a solid qualification, a piece of paper that says, now you're qualified to teach.
Now you've got credibility.
Yeah, now you're good enough. But the world we're living in now, I mean, I have just watching people's journeys evolve, who are passionate about photography, start sharing it on Instagram, and then suddenly this following builds and they can turn it into a business, or scrapbooking, or there is no limit now in the things that we can be passionate about and turn it into an income. It is a phenomenal time for us as mums to be doing things from home, sharing passion. Yeah.
That's exactly right. The only thing that is stopping you is yourself.
Yeah.
We always, and you need to get over yourself. That's what I say to people. Just get yourself out of the road. Yeah. Because yourself, with all your old habits, all your old beliefs, all your old programming, all your old this, that, and the other, it will try to sabotage you from moving to your greatest potential. Yeah. It will sit there, like, for example, someone's probably listening to this right now and they're going, oh yeah, I should. Yeah. But then the other thing in their brain, the amygdala, it's sitting there going, oh, turn this shit off. No. You're not going out of this lane. You've been in this lane for this, this is your safe lane. This is, this is that. Yeah, it might be painful. It might cause you to be sad or unhealthy or disappointed or depressed or whatever. But no, we're sticking in. Don't listen to her. Turn that Edwina stuff off. Don't ever go on that Edwina stuff again. And forget Rachael Birmingham. Oh my God, get right away from her. She's gonna mess stuff up. No. And this is what we do. This because of our old holding patterns and our old beliefs and our old consciousness of what we were, but we've outgrown it. We're consistently outgrowing ourselves. So you got to get yourself out of the way. Get yourself out of the way and have a go, because it's your soul that is calling. It's your spirit that is calling. And yes, you might not know, you might not have it all in laid out in a blueprint for you. But that's the beauty of life. Live it. Like I said, this is your best life right now, and this is what you need to be doing, living it.
Yeah. And the more we can share the journey and the stuff ups along the way, the more it actually makes for a far more interesting story.
It's such an interesting story. Everybody has an amazing story, I think. You know, if you sit down and have a little yak to them. I see so many people at events that I go to, and I get blown away. I think, you know, sometimes it's you know, kind of standing up there on stage and thinking, oh gosh, you know, that woman really should be up on this stage. She has an amazing story. We all have an amazing story. Whether we want to share it or not, that's another thing. But, you know, whether we need to share it is a different thing. But I think we also get too wrapped up in the story, you know, and sorry, but I am going to swear here. There is an ebook I'm doing at the moment called Fuck the Story, because sometimes you just do need to fuck the story, because the story holds you in that space of where you are no longer. And it gives you excuses, it gives you reasons, justification to not develop and grow to where you need to be. And it's enough. It's enough. Create your own story. And that's, you know, one of the quotes that I just love so much is, life is not about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. And we're consistently doing that. George Bernard Shaw. We're consistently doing that. We need to consistently do that, because that's what fills us up. That's what lights us up. And that's what gives, as you said, other people the inspiration and the motivation and even the permission for them to do it themselves too. My way going to be your way is not going to be someone else's way. Someone else's, you know, we're all doing it in our different ways. That's why coaching can be quite limiting, whereas mentoring is all, you know, about that soul, bringing that whole purpose out and really delving into those realms, and also getting rid of all those old nasty habits and patterns, and just more intelligence around it. You know, yes, we've got patterns. I've still got my patterns, but I can see them coming up, and I know how to, oh God, what are you doing here? No, I'm on to you. It's just, you know, like that unwanted visitor. You know how to handle them really, really quickly, you know, and this is what happens with your patterns and your habits and so forth. So,
So for any of the mums that have had a little inkling that there may be a book or a story in them,
write it. Write it. You know, mums from schools writing books. Oh, you wouldn't, you know, the dude from the cafe van, just write it. It's writing is when you know how. I've got a really great writers program. It's, you know, and every single person, it's only like 5 or 6 weeks or something, and and you talk to me. You're not just, you know, getting something over the email and all that sort of stuff. You actually talk to me, and I see your work, and I show you what, you know. Every single person that's done that has written their book within 2 months. 2 months, 2 months of your life, and you could have a book. So, you know, it is, you know, and I do crack the whip. I have to, just reminding you, I'm not like this. I'm very cruisy, but in that I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing this week. This is what you need to do here. This is what you need to do. Get the book out. Even, you know, I was talking to a lady the other day, an older lady. I have so many older women and older men writing their stories, not to sell millions of copies or whatever, but to leave a legacy. A legacy. And I just think they're the most amazing books to read, and they're fantastic for the future generations. You know, all of the movies that we see on TV, they're built from someone's story that wrote it down or heard it or whatever. Let's keep them alive. So, and there's lots of women out there that are probably listening to this that, you know, were in the big, you know, some kind of business or whatever. They've got things to share to people, things to share and help other people and things like that. One lady came up to me at a speaking event one day, and she said, I really, really wanted to, you know, write a book, but I don't think I know enough yet. I think I'll just wait another year or, oh my God, if I have heard that story once, I've heard it like a bloody billion times. And I just say to them, here's the thing, you know now, there's always going to be somebody that knows more about what you're talking about than you. Always. But there's always going to be a whole stack of people behind that just don't. So just do it. And it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's how you do it. Because, you know, writing a book fundamentally, well, you know, 82% or 84% of the population, the market, want to write a book, but can they do it properly? Yeah. Will they do it so that it actually sells? And more importantly, will they be able to get those words out there, that kind of thing, you know? Yeah. Will they be able to the market and tell the market about it, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the mums that, you know, like if there's a really quick first step to get that first little thing done, what is that one little first step that they can take?
The very first thing is to look at your schedule.
Yep.
And don't dick around with it, because, you know, so many people say, oh, yes, I've got no time. And I go, show me your schedule. They go, what? Show me your schedule. Yeah. So I have a look at their schedule and they've got bulk loads of time. I just manipulate it and go, there you are. You've got 2 days. What? No, you've got 2 days. Yeah. So your schedule is what you need to look at. You can be busy being busy for the rest of your life, you know. And somebody once said to me, balance is for ballerinas. And I thought, well, there's a person that hasn't got their act together time-wise, because it's a bloody excuse. It's another excuse. It's like, are you serious? Stop your excuses. Stop your bullshit. If you really want to do something, you've got to get yourself out of the way. Look at your schedule. Make some time to grow. Make some time to invest in yourself and to do something that you can be proud of, that lights you up. That lights you up. Not even about pride, not even about money, not even about credibility or exposure or profile or whatever, because that's just, who cares about that? It's about what lights you up and how you can help other people as well, potentially. And that might come in the shape of a story. Mum from school just wrote a paranormal romance. It was one of the best books I've read. It was amazing. I thought, Christ, please, book 2. It was amazing. And you wouldn't believe it from looking at her, but she had that in her. Yeah. So the story is awesome. Now she's out there selling it, it's ebooks and this, that, and the other. So you just don't know. Like if you said to me that I'd write, you know, co-write one of the country's biggest selling cookbooks, I would have choked, you know, or thought that you were blind, rotten drunk or something, you know, 14 years ago. What? And written 10 books. I've, you know, 10 books. No, you're so not. You know, and you don't know where life leads you, but you don't know unless you have a go.
Just start. Just start.
Time, effort. Make time. Put in the effort. Invest in yourself. Get it done. Yeah. Get it done.
I've asked each of the speakers in the series, on an ideal morning, how do you love to start your day?
Oh, so easy.
Yep.
I do this every Thursday and Friday morning, and sometimes Saturday and Sunday, which I did this week as well. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did this. The very first thing I do in the morning is I do a meditation. Every single morning I do a very, you know, it just doesn't have to be long or whatever, a very, very quick meditation, and then I go for a wave.
Yep.
I go for a surf, and, you know, it's just so beautiful out there. And, you know, even when it's raining, I mean, you're going to get wet anyway, big whopper. But I really love that. And then I come home, and, you know, my ideal day after that would be to have some fun, have some connection with my kids, you know, who often come with me. They often come to the beach as well with me, and Jax paddles out with me. Bowie, Casey sometimes paddle out. Sometimes they just play in the water. Sometimes they play on the sand or the rocks or wherever we are. But it's always an adventure, and I think life should be an adventure. And, you know, you should have that you know, that soul space, you know, where you just balance and connect and appreciate, and the gratitude. So being with them is really cool. And then so I'd like to do something there for a few hours in my perfect world. And then thereafter spend some time with, you know, some girlfriends, or oh gosh, there's battery 10%.
We're getting close.
You know, so you know, some girlfriends, or, you know, I'm solo at the moment, so a lover, you know, I like, like music. I pump up the music. I love having a glass of wine, some music, some fun, some laughs, bit of dancing, that kind of thing. So that would be my perfect world, and in amongst all that, I'd like to just, make sure that I've touched at least 2 people in my day in a positive way that has inspired or encouraged or helped them feel good about themselves and has got them one step closer to where they want to be. And I want to be able to hear about that, because I love seeing their faces especially when you start with someone and they think they can't do it or they don't have any belief in themselves, and then they're at that place and I go, turn around, look back, turn around, they go, no way, no way. And I go, I know. And it's just, it's such it's so exciting. It's really cool. It's really cool. So friends, family, surfing, good people, mixing with good people, my women that I mentor and things like that. That's a perfect kind of a day, and some travel here and there.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I know you've got a gorgeous gift for the women that are tuning into this series. Can you just tell us what that is, please?
Yes. If you want some clarity, you want some direction. I don't have this on the, publicly on my website, because I just don't do them much anymore, or at all, pretty much, unless I'm at a speaking event. But I'm going to put up on the website a 45-minute session with me, so that you can go have a session with me. We can get some clarity, get some stuff in place, dig down if you don't know where you're going, what you want, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you just want some confidence and a bit of cheering on and some encouragement. Maybe you want to write a book, whatever it is. But anyway, 45 minutes you get with me. And normally for something like that, it'd be around about the 350, 380 mark. But if you put in the code, what will we do? What code? How about we just call it, living?
Yep. Beautiful.
That's bloody boring, actually, Edwina. Let's go spirit.
All right.
Okay? Spirit. So get spirited, girls. So if you type in the code word spirit, you'll be able to get that 45 minutes with me for $120.
Okay. I'll put that, there'll be a link below the interview and they can just click on it and get taken to your website. That's perfect.
Time though, I don't, you've got to understand, I do like my surfing. So limited time. All right.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story. It's been awesome and a lot of laughs. It's awesome. Thanks so much, Rachael.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye for now.